Welcome, everybody, to the Dad Debate presented by Dads Watching Sports. I am Michael Draper, your host for the Dad Debate, and you may be looking at the screen and saying, what's up with this? This is supposed to be the Dad Debate. It's supposed to be two people going off against each other, two dads, three topics, and one winner, and there's just one guy on the screen. And yeah, that's kind of where we are. I mean, this is 2020, right? So let me catch you up on a little bit what's going on here with this show. So the Dad Debate, if you haven't checked it out before, we normally have two dads going against each other. We'll have three topics, two dads and one winner. We go through several different topics, whether it be sports related or pop culture, or I think last week we did Space Jam as one of the topics. And so we normally have those types of conversations here on the Dad Debate. And this week's going to be a little bit different, as you can see. So Kyle and Matt are both out this week. They both had some stuff going on, kind of knew about that ahead of time. We had a guest lined up, and we're experiencing some technical difficulties with that guest right now. I'm hoping that he will join us here in a few minutes. His name is JaMichael Tyler. He was going to be joining us. He used to work at the YMCA with Matt and I. If you don't know who Matt Kirk is, he is my co-host on the Dads Watching Sports podcast that you can find anywhere you listen to podcasts. And so JaMichael was scheduled to come on tonight. We're having some technical issues there. So I'm hoping that I'm going to receive a text from JaMichael here in just the next little bit, and that he's going to be able to get on. I know he's trying to log on as we currently speak, but as they say, the show must go on, and we that's what we're doing here on Dads Watching Sports. Because I am solo tonight, if you are watching and taking in the show, please shoot some comments, because I would love to interact with you, as I'll just going to be bantering here for the better part of 30 minutes. But as I said, this show is called the Dad Debate. We normally debate a couple of topics here on the show and try to get a winner. If you've never checked out our other show, it's Dads Watching Sports. That show comes to you on Sundays on the RTF Sports Network and Dads Watching Sports Facebook page. We stream live. And then also we are on RTF Sports Network on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And so we're really we have a lot of fun on that show. It's myself, Kyle Castles, and Matt Kirk each and every week. Sometimes we have guests on. We've got a couple of big guests. I'll get to those maybe here later on in this half hour. But sometimes we have guests on. We talk all things kind of national sports news, and then all things being dads. And so check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can download the show. It's Dads Watching Sports. We'd love for you to rate, review, subscribe, kind of all of the above. And we're very excited about that. But again, this is the Dad Debate. And again, we'd love for you to interact with the show. Things are going to be a little bit different tonight, even if we can get JaMichael on. And, normally, like I said, with this show, it's normally a debate style show. And we actually had a debate planned. We were going to have Matt Kirk come on and go against JaMichael, as I mentioned, and they were going to talk about several different topics. We were going to talk NFL quarterbacks, kind of the new faces and new spaces with Brady and Cam and a few of the other quarterbacks that were going to be new to their new teams, and who was going to be the best fit and things like that. We were going to talk about that. We were also going to talk about the best sports video games out there. PGA 2021 came out. PGA Tour 2021 came out this past week. Sure, everybody's loving that, but we were going to talk about some kind of the best games, and then the AP released their top 25 for the NCAA football. We were going to talk about that as well. But I messaged both JaMichael and Matt leading up to it. Matt ended up having to drop out with some other stuff going on, but I messaged them going into the show and just said, hey, in light of everything that's taken place specifically today, how about we kind of switch things up a little bit and just kind of talk about what's going on in the sports world and in the world. It's been kind of a wild and crazy year. I mean, my goodness, everything that's going on in 2020, and it just kind of seems like the hits keep on going. Again, Michael Draper here from Dads Watching Sports. Normally we do the Dad Debate here on Wednesday nights. I've got my co-hosts are out for the week, and I've got a guest that is experiencing some technical difficulties. So I'm here for the long haul. But if you're checking us out online, please feel free to comment, shoot me a question or comment. I would love to interact with you, because I'm going solo for the next 24 minutes. So we'll definitely appreciate that. But as I alluded to, we were talking about leading up to tonight's show about, it just doesn't seem like debates would be a good fit for tonight, and with everything that's going on. We see enough debating as it is. We see people at opposite ends of the spectrum, whether that be politically or socially or whatever have you. And so my thought was, let's try to put all that aside and let's stop the arguing and let's try to just have some civil discourse and listen to each other and talk about the things that are happening. As I'm sure if you're a sports fan out there, you've heard what has happened across the entire landscape of sports tonight with some boycotting going on across several different sports. So let's kind of go back to square one and figure out how we got here. So on Sunday, August 23rd, a young man, Jacob Blake, was shot seven times by police officers in Kennesaw, Wisconsin. It appears he's going to survive, which, praise God. Thank goodness that's the case. He's going to survive, but definitely has got some severe injuries. I believe a family attorney came on and said that they thought that it could potentially be paralysis for him. And so again, here we are again. I feel like we were just here not too long ago, and here we are again, where a young black man was shot by police and shot 7 times, and it was in his back, and it was in a place where his family was around to see that and to witness that. And look, I am the last person that should be talking about this because I don't know all the facts in terms of what exactly kind of happened there. But what I do think that we should talk about is just kind of how this is played out from here going on. So looks like we might actually have JaMichael here through our technical difficulties. JaMichael, man, how is it going? How are you?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing good. Thank you for joining me. I know I was telling the listeners and those watching the stream out there about we were planning on having you versus Kirk in a debate, which I was very excited about because you used to work with us at the YMCA, and it seemed like you and Kirk would always go back and forth on whether it was sports leagues or video games or really anything and everything. So, when you agreed to come on, I thought, oh yeah, we're going to get JaMichael and Matt going one-on-one. I was very excited about it, but as I messaged you early in the day, I just felt like today's not a day to be debating and for us just to kind of talk through everything that's kind of going on. But first, welcome to the show. Why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, a little bit about your family and everything going on with you.
As you guys know, I worked with you at the Y for a couple of years. Great mentor, great individual. I'm a father of two little girls. I played basketball growing up, played a little bit of football, big gamer. From Michigan, I'm a State fan. Go Green.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Well, good deal, man. Well, thanks for being on. So you said you got 2 daughters, which I know, you're just like us. Our kids are everything to us. So what are their ages and how's just life with 2 little ones running around?
One's 2, probably you can hear in the background, and the other one is going to be 1 here next month on the 15th.
Oh, man.
So, man, yeah, being a dad is amazing. It gets challenging that sometimes, but what job doesn't?
That's right. Absolutely. Without a doubt about that. Well, JaMichael, again, man, thank you for coming on tonight. We definitely really appreciate that. And so as I was kind of telling the viewers and the listeners that, when we were talking about what we want to talk about tonight, it just kind of seemed like with everything that's happened over the past week and then everything that really has transpired within the past couple hours, it just didn't feel like a good idea just to come on here and just act like that stuff didn't happen. And so I just kind of gave a quick review of, kind of how we got here with Jacob Blake being shot by police on Sunday up in Kennesaw, Wisconsin. Since that's happened, really a lot of leaders and specifically in the NBA have really come out and spoken out against that, and are really kind of hoping to kind of move the needle in terms of what happens next. One thing that really kind of stood out to me was a comment made by Doc Rivers. I grew up a Celtics fan. I try to align myself more with a Grizzlies fan now, but Doc was a guy that I really enjoyed watching as a coach for the Celtics, and somebody that I really admire. I think he does a great job on and off the court. And he made the statement of, it's amazing to me why we keep loving this country and this country doesn't love us back. And man, when he said that, like that struck me to my core of like, man, like as somebody who doesn't know that struggle, that really this kind of struck me to my core. But you've seen in the past 24 hours, it kind of broke last night that the Raptors and Celtics were thinking about not playing. And then it really just kind of broke a couple hours ago. The Milwaukee Bucks, who are obviously very close there in Wisconsin, decided not to play their game tonight. And then it's kind of really established a trickle effect across the league and then across the sports landscape. You can't hear me? Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure what might be going on there. Let me take you off here. Sorry for the technical difficulties out there, everybody. Yeah. All right. Can you hear me now, JaMichael? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Well, we lost JaMichael. So again, the show will continue to go on, and we'll hope to get back to him in a second. But what I was going to ask JaMichael was, you've seen kind of what's happened here. Again, the NBA, every team in the NBA has decided to boycott their games tonight. There has been a players-only meeting that just kind of came across. It looked like, according to Woj and Bleacher Report, that they discussed whether to even play the remainder of the season or not. Thursday games are up in the air. You've got the game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Raptors and the Celtics that is scheduled for tomorrow night. That game is up in the air along with some others. They haven't even really talked about, will they make up? I'm sure they will, but when will they make up and how will they make up the games that they ended up getting boycotted tonight. And so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. If you're a big fan of the NBA on TNT, which I am, Kenny Smith, in kind of a solidarity move with the players, walked off the set of NBA on TNT and basically just said, hey, look, those guys are standing up for what they believe in. And I want to follow suit, and walked off the set in the middle of the show, which, clearly that kind of stuff doesn't happen very often, if at all. And so, the question is, and I want to get, some interaction if you're watching or listening, and please feel free to shoot us an email if you listen during the week. Shoot us an email because we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about what has happened here across the NBA with teams boycotting games, and what do you think happens next? I mean, I'll go ahead and say that I think before any of this transpired, I thought that the NBA, and that was not a negative, but I think the NBA has done an A+ job with this bubble, the NBA bubble. I mean, they came back. They've done a phenomenal job in testing players and keeping people safe. They've had 0 tests that have come back positive. The play has been fantastic. The officiating has been fantastic. The players have just been really kind of taken their game to another level. If you haven't been a fan of the NBA before and you didn't catch the Mavs-Clippers game the other night where Luka hit the game winner, or the Nuggets and the Jazz game yesterday, I mean, that's basketball at its finest across this world. And so if you're not a fan of the NBA, or if you say, oh, they don't play defense, they don't do this or all that, if you've watched these past couple games, I don't know how you couldn't be, because the play's been phenomenal. And they've just done an A+ job, really, and kind of going across the board of getting things back to where they needed to be for them to finish the season. So an A+ job there. My thoughts on them boycotting the games. I'm a huge fan of people standing up for what they believe in. I identify myself as a Christian, and I would hope that if I was in a situation where I felt like my beliefs or something that I felt like was unjust was not happening, that I would, if I was in their place, that I would stand up for what I believe in. And then I also think, these are people who have an ultimate platform that is much higher than mine will ever be, on this podcast right here. And so I think that, if they have that platform and that's something that they believe in, kudos to them, because you have to think about the fact that, while it may be more popular now than it ever has been before, this still may across the board, across the landscape, is probably not the most popular thing to do. And so you've got people that are millionaires that are sacrificing potentially their living, the way that they make money, sponsorships, friends and family, specifically those in their locker room. And so they're putting that all on the line to stand up for something that they believe in. And so whether you agree with the message or not, I think you have to respect the fact that these guys and girls across the WNBA and these professional athletes are saying, you know what, I have a platform, and I'm going to use that to what I feel like is the best of my abilities to positively impact our community, our state, our country and the world. And you have to give them kudos for doing that because, there's a lot of people, frankly, out there that wouldn't do that. And so, I wanted to kind of bring that up on the show tonight. Again, not to get political because that's not what this show is about. And we're not talking about anything to do with that. It's more of just this is the biggest story in sports right now. And as a sports podcast, even though we sometimes delve in the jump in the dad world as well, as a sports podcast, we have to talk about it. And so it's I had to bring that up. It looks like we might have JaMichael back on here. So JaMichael, I'm going to bring you back up. Can you hear me now, JaMichael? Let's see. I don't know that I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Man, look at there. Hi, how are you?
You say hi?
This wouldn't be the dad debate or dads watching sports if we didn't have a cameo by one of your beautiful daughters. Absolutely. So this is fantastic. So JaMichael, I won't keep you, but just for a few minutes, man, because I can clearly see you've got much greater priorities going on there at the house. But just wanted your take really quickly on what's kind of transpired, within the past 24 hours down in the bubble and where you think things are going to go from here.
Honestly, it's literally up in the air. I feel like, especially when there's another one. Definitely when there's, a lot going on outside, the league itself, and I feel like, those players, feel like they need to take a stand and, what they feel is right, for individuals and, just for society in general. So, it could be postponed for a week, maybe 2 weeks, or who knows, until they feel like, justice is served for Jacob and his family. So, I honestly feel like, the right steps will be taken in regards to everything. So, that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, I think for people to put a timeline on it would be insensitive and would not be, that's not what this is about, and so I completely agree with you. So what do you think about how the NBA has done so far with the bubble and being able to bring everybody in, keep everybody contained there? The level of basketball has been tremendous. How would you rate the NBA bubble so far?
I think the bubble has been immaculate. Like, it's literally brought the best out of every player that has the possibility to make the playoffs or in the playoffs. It's just brought that inner, basketball player out of them. The potential that was possibly hidden has come out. You're seeing players that you usually don't hear from, coming out scoring big in games. Because I can tell you the biggest underdog player that I've seen score big was Reggie Jackson for the Clippers. So when he scored 30, and I was just like, yeah, that's, I haven't seen that Reggie Jackson since the Pistons. So I was like, okay. And then when the disappearance of Lou Williams and then the reappearance of Lou Williams, so that that made a big difference for the Clippers as well. So and then the absence of Jamal Murray from the Nuggets. And then when he came back,
he's on fire, man.
Yeah, then Lakers picking up J.R. Smith and Avery Bradley's absence. It's a lot of things, Rockets with no Russ. So, it's a lot going on in the bubble. So
that there is, without a doubt. Yeah, it's it will be very interesting to kind of see how it all plays out. And again, as of right now, I believe it came across on Bleacher Report, and Woj was saying earlier that it looks like, at least for right now, there's they don't know when play will resume, and I think that's probably the best way to look at it. Is we'll just kind of get back to business when they can, or when they feel like it's time. The one thing that I think is really cool is it's, you've seen kind of this happen, times before where players have made some demonstrations or things like that, but really to see it across all sports. So the NBA started, the WNBA has continued that. They canceled their games or postponed their games for tonight. Major League Baseball, a lot of their teams are doing that as well, and so is the MLS. And so it's really, the NBA, I think you have these professional athletes that are using their platform to assist with issues. And it's really cool to see that they realize that, hey, I'm much more than just a basketball player. I can bring a lot more kind of to the table.
I also seen where the Detroit Lions had canceled their practice, and just basically had like a team meeting about everything, and about injustice for people out in the world. So, and I thought that was pretty cool too. Like the NFL is really starting to take a stand for it, as well as other sports as well.
Yep, absolutely. Well, JaMichael, you got your hands full there, man. So I'm going to let you go. But we appreciate you joining us here on the Dad Debate, and we will. I tell you, we're going to get you back in the next few weeks because I want you to go one-on-one with Kirk because I can't tell you how much I was looking forward to that.
I was ready too.
Yep. We'll have you back on for sure soon, man. But we appreciate you coming out. You got 2 beautiful daughters, and take care, man.
Hey, appreciate it very much.
All right, have a good one. All right, so that was JaMichael Tyler, and we appreciate him. And man, I mean, his daughters are beautiful. They, they're like my kids. They did not want anything to do with being quiet, and that's quite all right. So we've got just a few minutes here left on the Dad Debate, and we're going to end things a little early. I know we've got a couple of more shows on the RTF Sports Network coming up here in a second, but just for kind of some programming updates from Dads Watching Sports. So again, we. Our show is on Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern here right on the RTF Sports Network and the Dads Watching Sports Facebook pages. You can also catch that show on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We had been doing the Dad Debate show on Wednesdays, 8:30 and 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central. Next week is actually going to be our last show with the Dad Debate. We're going to have Matt, Kirk, and Kyle Castles going head to head. And that's going to be our last show. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to incorporate the debate style a little bit into Dads Watching Sports. Maybe every 3 or 4 episodes, we'll have a segment kind of dedicated to an actual debate where we have a couple of topics. You guys, we appreciate everybody checking the show out. We appreciate all the downloads and the listens and people watching on Facebook Live and commenting and things like that. But I'll just be honest, life gets in the way sometimes, and some things in life are much more important than others. And as Matt and Kyle and I were kind of talking, we said, you know what? We all have a lot of stuff going on right now with schools being back in session and things going on and our families being busy. And we just thought it was probably a good time to back off of a second show. So we're going to, starting next week or starting the week after next. So next week, that will be September 2nd. Wednesday, September 2nd will be our last Dad Debate show here in the midweek. And like I said, we'll always continue on our Dads Watching Sports coming up on Sunday. So I teased this at the beginning of the program, at the beginning of the show, Dads Watching Sports. We've got some great guests coming up over the next couple of weeks. This week, we have got Jay Cash. Jay is an auctioneer here in the Middle Tennessee area, but is also big into horse racing. And I'm sure everybody is aware that the Kentucky Derby is coming up soon. They actually just announced that Churchill Downs will not have fans in the stadium at all, or in the place where they in Churchill Downs. They won't have any fans at all, and so that's going to be a huge change. But Jay's a big horse racing guy, and so he's going to come on and talk with some horse racing. He's also got some children as well, and so we're going to have Jay on this week on Dads Watching Sports just to talk a little bit about what he thinks is coming up on Churchill Downs at the Kentucky Derby, and maybe some horses to watch out for. It might even give you some betting tips, so make sure you take a look at that. So we'll have Jay on this Sunday. And then over the course of the next few weeks, we haven't finalized days, our official dates, but we've got some really cool guests. If you live in the greater Nashville area, I'm sure you're aware of 104.5 The Zone. That's one of the, if not the best sports station here in the kind of Middle Tennessee and beyond area. They've got a great lineup of shows. They've got their morning show. They've got the Midday 180, which is one of the best, highest rated shows in America. And then they have 3HL, which is kind of it used to be 3 Hour Lunch or 3HL. And Brent Doherty has been the host of that show for as long as I can remember. And Brent is going to come on with us. He's got a couple of kids, and obviously he's big and plugged into sports and the Nashville sports scene and the sports scene kind of across the globe. And so Brent's going to join us in the next couple of weeks. So we're super excited about that. Personally, I'm pretty excited. I've got two buddies that are going to come on over the next couple of weeks. David Fish used to work at Belmont University in their athletic program. He also used to work with Matt and I at the YMCA. Really good guy. He's going to join us the next couple of weeks. Really plugged into sports and knows a lot about the sports world. And so we're looking forward to having Fish on. My college advisor, Dr. Robert Zullo, is also going to be joining us over the next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to Matt and Kyle quizzing him on how he really pushed me to get through college, because I needed every push that I could get. So he'll be joining us as well. And he works for, I believe it's Westminster College now, and just a great guy. And I think he'll be able to bring a lot to the show as well. And then really no offense to those guys, but kind of the keystone guests that we've got coming up over the next month. If you're familiar with the Tennessee Titans at all, you know two of the biggest plays in Titans history are the Music City Miracle, and then against the St. Louis Rams in the Super Bowl, unfortunately coming up 1 yard short. And a key player in both of those plays was wide receiver Kevin Dyson. And Kevin Dyson will be joining us on the show in the next couple of weeks. We're actually maybe looking at the week after next, but we've got to kind of shore up some things with Dyson. But we're looking forward to having him on the program as well. So a lot of great guests coming up on Dad's Watching Sports. And so we definitely want you to check us out. Again, Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on the RTS Sports Network, and anywhere you download podcasts. We would love for you to rate and review and all that fun stuff of the show, because it's we would just appreciate that. So, well, this has been an interesting dad debate. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Michael Draper here going solo for a majority of the show. Matt and Kyle will owe me at some point in time. I'm just kidding. They asked for the time off, and I, as their quote unquote boss, graciously agreed, because those guys are awesome. They help with a lot with the show, and I couldn't do any of this without them. So, but I am going to get out of here. It's been a fun evening. Love each other, take care of each other, all that fun stuff. And man, hopefully the rest of the 2020 will be good to us, because God knows we all need it. But you guys take care. This has been the Dad Debate. We will see you on Sunday. Jay Cash coming up on Dad's Watching Sports. We'll see you then.